This is about Jesus coming and freeing us from the evil that exists in this world. The season of Advent is an invitation to reflect on the reality of these two kingdoms that we find ourselves standing in. To accept God's kingdom is more than just a metaphor. It is, in fact, more real than this physical world, because this physical world in which we live will ultimately pass away. Now, the problem, of course, we have to accept is that we regularly ignore God. We lose our grip on the real world and get sucked into a world that by its nature is going to die. And if that's the only world that we live in, then we end up finding ourselves dying with it. But when we focus on Jesus and his invitation to see that there is something beyond this place, a reality that apparently even the quantum scientists are coming to terms with, that we actually get to transcend this physical world and live in a place that is completely different. The psalm promises that the real conflict that exists in our lives isn't whether or not we're going to be able to make the mortgage payment or have enough gifts under the tree. The real conflicts that have eternal consequences, those are all going to be resolved by our King. The call of Advent, then, is less about resisting the consumer culture, although please do slow down. It's less about that and being seduced by it, but it is more about celebrating who Jesus is. He is real. He is King. He is the one that gives us a path to be in the very presence of God. We get to celebrate this. We get to spend this season reflecting on who Jesus is, to reflect and contemplate the trials that Jesus goes through on our behalf and the trials that we get to experience. We get to see the revelation of truth that comes in who he is, and we get to stand in wonder that we have a God who loves us so much that he would cross from his kingdom into ours. When we practice the presence of Jesus, it means that we embrace who Jesus really is. Jesus came to do what no earthly king could ever do. He came to bring us into the very presence of God.